Today we're going to have a look at how to change your default web browser in Windows 11. It's not a straightforward process like it was in the past. The easiest way, click on Start, type in Settings to open up the Settings app on your computer. On the left-hand side, click on Apps, and on the right, Default Apps. And you can see that you can either search for a particular file type or link type, such as .htm or HTTPS, or you can search for an application. I prefer doing it this way. So say, for example, we wanted Edge as the default. When you type in Edge, that'll pop up in the list. And as you can see, .html, HTML, etc. is all set for Microsoft Edge as the default. If you wanted to, say, for example, browse down this list, you certainly can do it that way. I just find it quicker. If we want, say, Google Chrome as the default, you can click on it, and then you have to go through each and every one of these and select Google Chrome as your default, or Edge or Firefox or whatever other browser you might be using. So we'll just get out of settings for now. I'm going to show you the individual browsers themselves. Let's pop into Mozilla Firefox. By default, when you first install Firefox, it comes up with this option. Do you want to make it your default? Let's go Not Now, so that we can see where the other setting is. In the top right hand corner, you have your three lines. Click on those, go down into Settings, then into the General tab, which by default opens up, and here you have Make Default. So once we click on this, let's go back into Settings, and I'm going to show you what actually happens in these cases. So we're back into Settings, Apps, Default Apps. We'll look for Firefox because we just made it our default. Now you can see the HTML have changed. All these other ones, HTTP and HTTPS as well, but all these other ones have not. That's where a big part of this problem comes in with the web browser in Windows 11. Now, just a word of caution right away while I remember this. When you see .pdf, no matter what you do, do not set this to a web browser. Always, always, always set it to Adobe Acrobat DC as your default. I support so many clients that have had issues with Adobe documents not opening properly, not displaying properly, not printing properly, unable to fill in fields, so on and so forth. And it's all because they're doing it in the browser, and the browser has limitations. So make sure PDF is always set to Acrobat Reader. Now you can certainly go through this list and select each one by default, or select the browser that you want for each one. But let's carry on with the other browsers. In Google Chrome, if you want it as your default, click on the three dots at the top right-hand corner over here, go into Settings, and on the left-hand side here, you'll see Default Browser. So if you click on Make Default in Chrome, this is even a bigger problem. Chrome doesn't automatically change the browser. It doesn't change anything. It automatically opens up settings and brings you into default apps, and you look at the screen going, okay, now what? And unless you know to actually type in here, go into Chrome, open it up, and then once again, we have to go through each one of these and make Google Chrome the default. So I don't know why they've done this. Chrome by default does not change anything in this list, which is really infuriating because it can throw a lot of people off. So let's just close down our browsers again. And Microsoft Edge, we'll deal with that as well. To make this your default in Edge itself, click on the three dots in the top right-hand corner here. Go down to Settings. Once you're in Settings, look for Default Browser on the left-hand side. Click on Make Default on the right. And now Edge has been set as your default browser. Close that down. Let's go back into our settings. Apps, Default Apps. And we'll just bring up Edge because we did that as the last option. As you can see, Edge changes everything just fine because it's designed around Edge, and Microsoft wants you to use Edge as your default browser. It's not altogether a bad thing, but it's not my preference. I prefer Mozilla Firefox. And going through each one of these is just, it's a pain. Like, even if we do it this way, and we go into Firefox, and when the message comes up, we go, yes, set it as the default, come back in here, it's only changed 4 of them. We have to still go through this list, change each one individually, so that we can have your particular browser as your default. So this is the way you do it in Windows 11. It's a little bit more of a convoluted process than what it was in Windows 10 and previous versions, which is why I think so many people are getting frustrated with Windows 11. But that's how you would change your default browser. Hopefully this makes sense to you. And by all means, if you've enjoyed this video, certainly give us a like at the bottom, a thumbs up, any comments that you have. Above all, take care of yourselves, have a fantastic day, and until the next video, ciao for now.